I know it doesn't look like much, but that's a spring coming right out of the ground. We're gonna get water right out of the earth. Don't tell Bone Crusher. Want to see what a stinging nettle looks like? Yeah, these trail conditions officially suck. I'm hoping that there's solid surface down there. And I'm not gonna say redonkulous. We're lost. Show me your broken arm. You're not gonna get me to say redonkulous. I'm out of ideas. Those weren't the cans we were looking for. I apologize for my ugly feet. I'm a man. Oh, I hate wet butts. Oh, gnarly. Hey, I'm Otter.
And I'm Bone Crusher.
And this is Ott Mountain. We're going on a backpacking trip 2 nights into the OTTER Creek Wilderness located in
Monongahela
National Forest, baby.
in West Virginia.
Nobody in the parking lot. We're gonna go now. We're either gonna do 17 miles, 13 miles, or 5 miles. So the options are, because we've had a lot of rain the last 2 days. It's been raining like crazy. So OTTER Creek might be dangerous. So depending on the weather and depending on the river conditions, we may or may not go the full distance. We may go ahead and do the full 17 if we feel up to it, or we may do 13, do a little shorter version, circuit hike, or we may just go in and say camp one night and come back out. So we don't know yet. We'll come along and find out what we do. Let's hit the trail. On this trip, armed with my new topo map, which I had custom made just for this wilderness area. Check out our video on that where I show you how I made this custom topo map. Since it's a wilderness area and some of the trails are going to be not as well marked and maintained, I thought it was prudent to have a good map with us. First part of this hike is going to be pretty much uphill for the first maybe 4 or 5 miles till we get to the top of Shavers Mountain. And then hopefully we'll have some nice views. Super soggy today. Walk through a tall field, grass and wildflowers. Hopefully we'll get some better weather here. It's supposed to maybe dry out and the sun's supposed to come out. Hopefully by the time we get to the top of the mountain. Sun's starting to peek through. Looks like, well, it'll lift our spirits for sure. We've been climbing steady for the last, really since we left the parking lot. Here it's a really steep section, but still got all those ferns everywhere, so it's really nice up in here. I think we've made it to the intersection of the trail with Shavers Mountain. We're looking for the trail. We've seen the cairns. There's no trail marker, trail signs, but there's trail markers. So we're looking for a trail that would head off that way. Those weren't the cairns we were looking for. Those cairns were for a forest road, we think. So we think we have another half mile to Mylia's Gap. Then we're going to turn right on Shavers Mountain Trail. So another half mile. So you want to see what a stinging nettle looks like? I'm going to show you because these little guys are everywhere. You have to be careful. The leaves of the stinging nettle are sort of serrated and looks innocent enough, but when you brush your leg by it, it gives you this sensation of fire. It's like a intense fire on your leg. So definitely something you want to watch out for as you're walking through these kind of woods. Some trails we've been on, they've been covering the trail and you just get nailed. Here so far I've only gotten like one fire burn from the nettle, but I'm keeping my eyes down on the trail. Trail conditions are somewhat questionable in terms of safety and stability here because the trail itself is narrow and somewhat on a slope, and if you fall, you're going to fall down there, which is probably going to result in really some kind of bad injury. So not to mention with the water we've recently had, the rains, it's very slippery. These are the cairns we're looking for. We're at Mylia's Gap now. We've come about 1.6 miles. We're at a 4-way intersection. Running this direction, that trail there, and that trail there is the Shavers Mountain Trail. Running this direction is Mylia's Trail. So we came in from the trail behind us, and if we went that way, we'd get down to OTTER Creek. So our plan is to turn left hit Shavers Mountain that way, and then we're gonna do a loop, complete a loop, and come back this way and go back to the car. Basically like a lollipop circuit hike. Questions? I didn't think so, because you're not here. Well, we made it to the ridge line, Shavers Mountain Ridge. We're about 3,400 feet above sea level, which for a lot of you watching, they'll be like, what? That's nothing. But for out here, that's not too bad. 3,400 feet is about average what you're looking at in some of these mountains for mountain hikes and things like that. So it feels good for us, like we're up in the clouds. All right, well, we're going to be following the Shavers Mountain Trail for a few miles now, and hopefully get some views that way. The trail here is really kind of overgrown and brambly, so you got a lot of wild, looks like wild blackberries. Have not seen poison ivy, that's the good news. But the trails are fairly well overgrown, which you see a lot on these wilderness trails. You don't see them necessarily maintained to the level that you do some other places.
And things are just starting to bud too, so they still have a lot of growth that could overtake the trail probably in late summer.
This little blow down in the trail, one of many obstacles. With regards to safety, we tend to err on the side of caution now more so than ever. So we're not big risk takers. The reason is because we lost Lisa until she broke her arm last year, and then on the trail she became then forevermore known as Bone Crusher. Show me your broken arm. It was also West Virginia backpacking.
Yeah.
Shattered her arm on a blowdown that we tried to get around, and so now we're taking extreme caution when we do certain things, and we're helping each other out, giving each other signals. If I notice an unsafe area ahead of her, I'll let her know, and vice versa. So we're all about safety. We want to have fun, but we also want to get back in one piece. Grove of pines is pretty spectacular, and I'm not going to say redonkulous. You're not going to get me to say it, no way. I'll just say it's pretty. How about that? Look, pretty. It's pretty in there.
This forest is pretty.
I hope you're happy now. You broke my redonkulous.
There's gotta be fairies in here.
Here on Shavers Ridge, it feels like we're walking into like Mirkwood for those of you Tolkien nerds like us. It's just a deep, dark woods up here.
Reminds me of that one area of Dolly Sods where we stayed down by the river. Had the pines and the pine bed forest. It was really nice.
Oh yeah, it does remind me of that, except no river right here. Those pines are really cool.
Very neat.
But you're not going to get me to say redonkulous. It's not happening, man. No way. I'll just say they're quite nice.
Glad I have my sandals.
I think this trail is a combination of Lord of the Rings, Jurassic Park, and The Revenant.
Terabithia, is that what it is?
Terabithia?
Terabithia in there too.
With a pinch of Terabithia. We've come about 2 miles since the Milius Gap, where we turn right on Shavers Ridge. This is a 4-way intersection, but these trails that way and this way are both not real trails. They go to campsites. We checked that one out. It goes to a campsite over there. But we want to continue on straight for about another mile to get to the Green Mountain Trail. Then we're going to hang a left. Man, it's like Loch Ness over there. How do you think we should get around?
Ooh, I think we're going to have to go skirt the edge that way. It looks less dense.
All right, let's give it a try.
Like this all the time, or just because of the rain?
Trail got so soggy and wet and muddy that we decided to bushwhack a little bit through this rhododendron maze. Hopefully we won't get off trail too much. It's kind of a mess. Just took a little spill here. These rocks are pretty slippery, so I went back, landed on my butt. I'm not hurt, but my checking the camera here, took it out of the case because it might have gotten a little wet. My butt is completely soaked. These are just tough, soggy trail conditions all the way around. Watch that log, it's very slippery. It looks like it wouldn't be, but it's super slippery. It's been like this for the last, what, mile at least?
Oh, at least. It makes it a rough hike.
Yeah, the other thing about this Shavers Mountain Trail, I was thinking there was going to be views like left and right. Well, yeah, maybe left and right, but
well,
there's no views other than the forest.
Other than the forest, yeah.
Well, the forest is pretty, but
it's really pretty.
If you're going to hike all the way up a mountain like this, kind of hope to get a view every now and then, at least once. And then with these soggy conditions, considering we're up on top of a mountain, and I got a wet butt to show for it. Oh, I hate wet butts.
I do too, but I sat on a wet rock.
She sat on a wet rock by choice. I landed on my rump, not by choice. All right, well, let's keep going. We probably got another half mile to the Green Mountain Trail, and then we're gonna hang a left.
Take a lunch break.
Maybe take a break. A break.
A break.
A break. A break. Yeah, these trail conditions officially suck. It's a rhododendron just tangle of bush here. Takes some of the fun out of hiking when you feel like you're bushwhacking. Actually, bushwhacking might be easier. There, you get to choose the way you go. Here, you kind of, if you're following the trail, you're following the trail, whatever the conditions are. Yeah, with bushwhacking, I think I'd enjoy that more. Hopefully, trail get nicer as we get farther on. And I just waddled my way through that little piece. I mean, it's that thick here with rhododendron. So, oh man, it's getting redundant. I'm just not gonna film it anymore because what's the point, right? You've seen it. But each time it gets thicker, I think, oh man, I gotta film this piece because it's not the R word. I'm not gonna say redonkulous. You're like Indiana Jones.
I feel like it. Oh man.
More trail obstacles. The water itself doesn't bother us. It's the mud. When you get into some of these spots where you sink into the mud, that's where it can get a little dangerous because you don't know how far you're gonna keep sinking. So you'd think, well, I'll just walk across. Fine, I don't mind my feet getting wet, but you gotta be really careful walking across a surface like this. Right, Bone Crusher?
I can't wait to give it a try.
I don't know what to do.
I know.
I'm out of ideas. Yeah, I'm hoping that there's solid surface down there. Yeah. So probing down into that sand, it looks like it might be able to support weight, at least somewhat. Give it a try. Take your time, Bone Crusher. It is like a sandy bottom here somewhat, at least this part of it. That's mud right there. So there's sandy bits and muddy bits. I think maybe if we walk our way around over here.
Deep sand, right?
It's just been like this, and it's
makes it a mile. Takes a long time.
I think we're supposed to come up on the intersection of the Green Mountain Trail, but I wouldn't know. We might have just walked right past it. You would never know. We're just in someone's backyard. We're deep. We're lost. If you find this video,
come find us.
tell Bone Crusher I love her.
Hey.
Oh, you're right here. Oh well,
if you die, I'm
take that back.
Right along with you.
So the situation is we are deep in this trail. We don't know what we're on. We're on Shavers Mountain Trail, but it never turned. We never saw the turnoff for Green Mountain Trail. And this piece of crap trail just keeps going and going. It looks like from the topo map, we're just going due north on the Shavers Mountain Trail. I don't see any end in sight. We've definitely come farther than the map and the directions would have indicated. We think we missed the turn off of Green Mountain. So that's point number one. So we're back here deep in this pile of crap trail. Number two, the weather is looking like severe tomorrow. So, and based on the amount of water we have up here, we don't really want to go slogging through OTTER Creek tomorrow. So even if we did find Green Mountain Trail, I don't think going down to OTTER Creek right now is prudent, especially given the trail conditions here. If they're this bad here, they're probably much worse.
Down near the creek.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we're looking at, okay, we can't go onward because we don't know where it goes. I have no idea where that trail goes. We can go backwards. We can go back, which sucks, but it's better if you lost and don't know where you are, you're always better off going back to the way you came. So we're gonna go back to the way we came and probably just put up camp where we saw that the 4 cairns earlier, and then let that be our campsite. What do you think we should do? Okay, so this is interactive. This is the very first in history of YouTube interactive. We can hear you, okay? We can hear what you're saying and thinking. So, well, we can't hear what you're thinking, but we can hear what you're saying. So whatever you say is what we're gonna do. Clap once if you want us to go back to that last campsite and camp there. Clap twice if you want us to go back to the car, just get out and then get hammered somewhere in a hotel.
Oh, that sounds good.
All right, go ahead. We're listening, go ahead. Oh, clapped twice. I heard two clap. What, you guys? I love this interactive YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad to engage the viewers in our decision making. Okay, well, we'll take that under advisement and we'll let you know what happens when we get back to the 4 cairns. In the meantime, nothing. That's it.
We'll see you.
We'll see you
Maybe
whenever
never.
hopefully we don't get. See you lost in the wilderness.
Lost trail.
This is the trail.
I can't believe we came through this the first time.
Finally, a ray of sunlight. Very easy to get disoriented and lost in an environment like this. The trails aren't blazed. So if you try to bypass the trail for any reason whatsoever, just be very careful. We just tried to bypass this piece of the trail here. And we did, but then we couldn't find the trail again. So we were like, oh, gee, we know we were right on top of it. So what we ended up doing was just backtracking the way we came. Went back to the last point of known reference, and then even then I used her as a point of reference. I told her to stay where she was. We did bushwhack a little bit again. We bypassed this river same way we did earlier today. This time I had her stay put. I only went like 100 feet ahead of her, far enough to know where I was, and then I called for her. So if I had gotten lost, she could have stayed put and called for me, and I would have gone back to where she was. So bushwhacking is dangerous if you don't know what you're doing and have no points of reference. You could easily get lost here. All right, so here's our situation. We came back to the cairns and we came down this trail and we're back to, there used to be a shelter here, we think, and now it's just a good campsite. But this is gonna be nice because we have the view over here. We're not down in that river valley where we have to worry about getting washed out by the OTTER Creek. So yeah, we wanted to see the creek, but with the weather situation tomorrow looking grim, we have a little break in the weather right now so we can get a fire going, maybe enjoy a night of camping here up on the mountain. Wasn't exactly the trip we planned. We'll make the most of it because it is what it is. That trail was just not something you're gonna really enjoy being on. So backtracking in that sense, oh, it sucked, was probably the best move for us. And now we have this nice campsite, nice view. We'll do all the same things. And we probably did about 6 miles today, but that 6 miles was tough. So when I try to start a fire with wet wood, when all the wood is wet, what I like to try to do is build my kindling base. We're using as much dry as I can. What I try to do is split the wood, creating these dry elements here, which I've already split a whole bunch. So these are gonna help fuel the fire once I get it going. And then I'm building my little base here with as many small elements as I can. And then I'm also going to create the shavings that I need to create the tinder. So these shavings, you know, that size, they'll catch a flame pretty fast. Those shavings will then catch this additional wood we have. So I may or may not use a fire starter here, but I'm going to try to do it without. I'm going to try to use just the shavings that I've got right here. The key with the fire prep, especially in wet conditions, is getting your material prepped. So in addition to the wood that I've split, it's going to burn really well. I've also got a backlog of additional wood that once it catches fire, I don't really need to worry. I can throw in some of this stuff. But like I said, getting this wood initially prepped. Do need a knife to do this. But these are really nice pieces that can be used to stoke the fire once we get it going. And you can even see these little shavings are going to be great. All right, so now everything's prepared. I'll try to use one match to get this thing started. Wish me luck. It takes a little bit of work, but the key is prep. And even if you prep really well, you can still fail. Now that we've got fire taken care of, we got to take care of water, which is a big deal because without water, really, you're kind of like dead in the water. Oh, see what I did there? See what I did there? Survival dictates that water is probably your #1 priority. We don't have any water. We ran out of, she's almost out of hers. I'm almost out of mine. Fortunately, though, I found a little spring over yonder. So I'm going to get water right out of the spring. I know it doesn't look like much, but that's a spring coming right out of the ground. We're going to get water right out of the earth. Don't tell Bone Crusher. She might not like it if she saw that. But that's where I'm going to get my water from because we have no other choice. We need water. That's bubbling right out of the ground. So we're going to scoop it up, filter it, and boil some of it. All right? So we'll see how this works. Never done this before, so don't try this at home, kids. Listen to your mom and dad, okay? It's hard to get a lot of water out of here. I could dig down. I might try to do that just so I can get a bigger scoop. Now that we've scooped about 2 liters of dirty water, I'm going to filter it right here at the spring, and hopefully that'll be purified. We probably will boil it again just to be on the safe side. At least for cooking it will be. We might be okay on drinking water with what we already have, but this will definitely give us cooking water, which we'll need for tonight and tomorrow's breakfast. Before I leave, after I filter this one, I'm going to go ahead and fill up some more and take the dirty bag back to camp. Drinking water right out of the earth. I'm a little scared, but we'll see. And there you go, 2 liters of drinkable water, filtered down to about 0.2 microns. Microns! But I'm still not sure I would just drink this. I mean, in theory, you could drink it right out of the ground. It's a spring, should be completely healthy, safe. Certainly after you filter it, I would think, drinkable. Let's get some more. I'm gonna fill up some more dirty water and bring it back to camp. Won't Bone Crusher be proud when I bring back all this water? Feel like a man. I'm a man. Never mind, I'll cut that part out. You won't have to see that. Finally getting around it. Oh, taking these dogs for a walk before I get swamp foot. They've been wet for hours. I had too much to do. But now, oh man, I apologize for my ugly feet. It's camp time. Also, finally got that fire going. It was a pain in the butt. The wood here is oily and really wet. So with the oily, wet wood, we had a hard time keeping the fire going. Spent a lot more time working with it than I usually do. And now it's dinner time. So, Bone Crusher, what are you going to eat?
Stroganoff and tea. And you're going to eat chili mac and cheese.
Ooh, 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 chili mac and cheese. Should I say it? Should I say it? Should I say the R word?
Do it, do it.
This chili mac and cheese, wait for it, is redonkulous. We haven't told you this, but it is, what is today?
This guy's birthday.
So Bone Crusher snuck in just 2 little mini bottles of rum, which we put in this tea. So this is it. This is all we're drinking tonight. We're just mostly a celebration of the birth. The day I came through the birth canal. Actually, I was C-section, but you don't need to know that. I'll cut that part out of here, don't worry.
That's better than coming through the birth canal.
Cheers to OTTER Creek Wilderness with Ott Mountain.
Happy Happy birthday, baby.
And my birthday.
This tea is
Ridiculous! Welcome to our crib. This is our tent. This is our tent. It's tiny. It's a tiny tent. See you in the morning. Good morning, campers. What are you laughing at? Good morning. It is morning. We survived. It did rain last night, but we didn't get the major rainstorm that we thought. We think there's a front coming in, so we're packing up, getting out of Dodge, filtering the last of the water, gonna have some breakfast of one kind or another, and then we're gonna hit the road. Well, with the rains coming, we feeling a few raindrops here, and we're just not gonna cook breakfast. We're just gonna eat our lunch, maybe eat it on the road or whatever. But I did want to mention, we're on the edge of this like really sharp drop off, so you do have some nice views over there if you stay here. We weren't really able to take advantage of it. We just didn't have a lot of time to go check it out, but I would imagine in the fall and in the winter it'd be some really nice views out of that valley. That's not the worst spot in the world to camp. Actually, it was pretty nice. So all in all, we've had a pretty good trip so far. I mean, didn't quite work out the way we planned, but you know, we made the most of it so far. Definitely having some adventure here with this weather. Well, we've packed up. We're gonna hit the trail, get out of here. So it's time for us to say goodbye.
Well, we've had a great adventure. So sometimes if you lose your way or think you're not where you should be, just backtrack, and that's the safest, easiest thing to do. So that's what we did, and we're heading back out.
And we ended up in a nice spot. Yeah. You know, had we gone on to Otter Creek, who knows what would have happened. I had a good time. How about you?
Yeah, I did. Even
what? All right. We're going back to civilization.
That's right.
So without further ado, from Hot Mountain, I'm Otter.
And I'm Bone Crusher.
And we'll see you on the trail.